If it's Monday night, oh yes, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. Ridiculously over Anthony Floyd once again sitting in for the Hardcore Python Derek Ferreira for this one of the biggest Raws of the year. The biggest Raw, as a matter of fact, since the Go Home Show for WrestleMania back on March the 23rd. It was the Go Home Show to the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. It was live tonight from the Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we're going to start it off tonight. Let's get right into it. It's a big show. Of course, before I do that, I'm joined as always by my partners in crime, of course, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, and of course, my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, and the Phenom, Michael Bullock, who I just got off the phone with. Yes, we went the distance tonight, believe it or not, and we got a lot to say about this show here tonight. So, without further ado, fellas, let's get right into it. This show's too big for it not to. We started it off in the ring with the Authority, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, laying the groundwork, laying the agenda for SummerSlam and everything else. And there's no question about it. This was the third best segment of the night. I had no ifs, ands, or buts about this. I'll tell you what. Short and sweet, no ego trip, none of that nonsense, none of that best for business BS. No. What we got here was just them laying down the groundwork, laying down the agenda for SummerSlam and announcing a couple of matches for the Raw tonight. Roman Reigns against Luke Harper, a return match from last Thursday's SmackDown, as well as a Divas matchup, champion versus champion, NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks versus WWE Divas Champion Nikki Bella, and promoting all the big main events for SummerSlam, including that that three-team Diva elimination match. And I'll have some more information on that when we get into the Diva segments in just a little bit. And then also hyping up the tag team match, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Also, Rollins and Cena, title for title, winner take all. And then, of course, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. So yeah, I thought it was a very, like I said, short and sweet. They didn't know we're saying they're welcome like they usually do 9 times out of 10. So I was very pleased with this segment. So I'm going to give it the third best segment of the night, and hey, I'll give Stephen Hunter credit. No overstaying of the welcome, no ego trip, just straight up laying down the groundwork and the agenda. Nothing more, nothing less. And that is what's best for business. Wouldn't you agree, Michael Bullock, as I throw it to you now?
Yes, I would certainly agree. And of course, hello friends, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum, our biggest show since we reviewed the Go Home to WrestleMania edition of Monday Night Raw. And yeah, we're just 6 nights away from the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. I definitely cannot wait for it. Big week ahead. Not just a big week ahead, but a big weekend, and we'll definitely get into that later on. But yeah, I thought this was a good segment to start off this Go Home to SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, normally when you think of the Authority, you get these 20-minute promos when it comes to them basically being all braggy and with their best for business shtick, but no, we didn't get it. We didn't get that at all. And they basically made it short and sweet and to the point, basically just running down what's going on with Raw tonight and basically everything you're going to see this Sunday night at SummerSlam. So yeah, and I thought this was a really good segment. So yeah, third best segment of the night. So all I can say is I'm going to toss it off to our resident Viper, Mike Fletcher, for his thoughts on this opening segment. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
It seemed like Triple H and Stephanie was going into hype man mode to definitely to sell about SummerSlam, pulling a page out of my book normally. So what's going on, people? Glad to be here tonight, especially on this huge night of the Wrestling Forum, because this is indeed the go-home show, the last chance that WWE can throw at us before you get into SummerSlam. Of course, we as Anthony and Michael Bullock has alluded, a very big week for us fellas in the forum. We actually get, this is the start of not one but three big episodes of the wrestling forum. Basically coming up this week. We got one tonight, one on Friday night, and then we got one on Sunday night, and we'll get into all that later in the evening. But no, this was good. I mean, Triple H and Stephanie, this was their pitch to the WWE Universe of why to get SummerSlam 2015 from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And let me tell you, the card itself is loaded. 4 hours spectacular. We knew that going in. But the thing is that there's so many good things going into that fight that I gotta admit I am very excited for. Yes, the title for title, winner take all, Cena versus Rollins is one. Taker versus Lesnar. Boy, did we get ourselves a nice little preview later on in the evening about that one. Very interesting. I'll get into that a little bit later. But I'll say this. It is definitely going to be a very interesting show. And yeah, I agree. Third best segment of the night and a great way to start this Raw. So, Anthony, let's move on.
And we're going to move on to the in-ring portion of our show tonight. And a great way to start it off. Tag team action. Randy Orton and the Swiss Superman Cesaro going up against the Celtic Warrior and Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus and Kevin Owens. Winners of the match in 13 minutes and 29 seconds, Randy Orton and Cesaro. Randy Orton with an RKO on Sheamus for the winning fall. And it was announced that at SummerSlam, no big surprise, guys, Randy Orton and Sheamus one-on-one. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on... and also, it was also announced this past week that Kevin Owens and Cesaro will also be going one-on-one at SummerSlam. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the tag team match, as well as those two new additions to the SummerSlam card.
All right. Well, first off on the match, I thought this was a really good match. I'm gonna give this this is definitely one of the top fights of the night. I'll say probably second best fight of the night. I'm gonna go an even 3 stars. Yes, this was a 3-star match, and I mean I love the near falls, the Shakespearean drama that we had in this match here, and I mean I just love Cesaro, and I mean especially with the power that he has, and especially with what he did with that suplex, basically holding Cesaro up there, and it definitely brought back a lot of memories for me. Of course, the one who really mastered it was, of course, the late great British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. God rest his soul. So basically, Randy Orton getting the win with the RKO, and and as far as the well, first off, the match that was announced before that was, of course, Owens and Cesaro, and man, this is definitely the definition of a wrestling form be a man fight, and this is what it's gonna be. I mean, you got two guys with power and guys who basically have come up through NXT and basically have a total disdain for each other, especially when Cesaro came up with the description, instead of fight Owens fight, it's walk Owens walk. So there's been some pretty good back and forth going on, and I can't wait to see what these two bring to the table, and I think this is going to be the sleeper fight of the night. It's not going to be the fight of the night. Of course, we already know what it's going to be, Taker and Lesnar. So, yeah, and as far as Randy Orton and Sheamus goes, no big surprise. I mean, I knew we were going to get another match between these two, but well, I'm not going to. I'll give you who I think is going to win when we do our preview on Friday night. So, yes. So I think this could be another good match. I know some people are not too happy about it because they've seen this so many times, but you know what? We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, so looking forward to both matches, and I'm gonna give it 3 stars for the for this tag team match. So that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
3-star fight. I agree with that. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was a really good start, and I liked what I saw. I mean, it was a very good, great match, solid fight, no doubt about that. The thing is that Derek Ferrera alluded to it. How we always talk about a be a man fight, and Ferrera mentioned about a strong style, and I kind of started thinking about it in a way. I'm like, you know what? Strong style and be a man is kind of one and the same. It is basically knock down, drag out, in your face, fists flying, elbows connecting. You don't see no technical wrestling. It is a straight up barroom brawl. That's what you see in a be a man fight. You ain't gonna see no technical wrestling like Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock likes. That technical wrestling is gonna go out the window when these two men get it on Sunday night, and I'm talking about Owens and Cesaro. Cesaro is so agile and so amazing in the ring. I mean, he is definitely, he's the Swiss Superman. Let's be realistic. Kevin Owens, let me tell you guys, I really feel slighted with Kevin Owens' body of work, because if you really want to see the real Kevin Owens, then watch Ring of Honor Wrestling, gentlemen, because that was more sadistic, more vile, more violent, and he didn't give a damn who he hurt it. I mean, that package pile driver is one of the most deadliest moves in professional wrestling that you would never see in WWE, because it's outlawed because of the fact that you could break somebody's freaking neck over that move. So, I mean, if they really wanted a real good fight, then yeah, you're going to get a good match. Because Owens is not going to give you a walk Owens walk. He will fight, and he will scrap, and he will brawl. Look at all the 5-star freaking fights he gave us with him and John Cena alone. And you tell me he's not ready for a fight, or he ain't going to try to steal the show at SummerSlam on Sunday night. And Cesaro, ever since he's gone back to solo, and ever since he had to, basically was literally pushed back into the singles career, I mean, my God, this guy has gotten the fountain of youth or something, man. He is mega over by the fans. The Cesaro section is ringing loud and clear, and it's getting bigger and bigger by the week. I mean, this is gonna be the true sleeper fight of the night. I'm sorry, Florio. You talked about how the first fight could have been a sleeper fight of the night. This one could be not only the sleeper fight of the night, but if it gets the right time and the right motivation, this might overtake Lesnar and Taker. This might overtake Cena versus Rollins as the fight of the night. Now, as far as Randy Orton and Sheamus goes, it was expected. We knew it was going to happen, but it's a nice little curtail. It's very interesting to see where they put this fight, because I got a theory in mind that I think needs to be addressed. But I'm not going to pull it tonight. I'll wait till Saturday. Well, actually, I'll wait till Friday to try to pull that trigger. But it is something that needs to be thought about, more or less. With that said, let's move on. Florio, it's yours.
I'm going to round it out here, guys. 3-star match. I definitely agree. Mr. Bullock and I, like I said, For the first time ever, Mr. Bullock and I went the distance on this show tonight, believe it or not. And we're still fresh as a daisy, hard to believe. You think we'd be getting tired out of it. No, we're not. But we definitely got a kick out of this fight. This was a great matchup, and I do agree it was the second best fight of the night. I thought there was one match slightly better, if I'm going to be quite honest here. But some great near falls down the stretch, and Orton gets the win here on Sheamus. I'm not at all surprised by that. And it only leads to one thing. They meet on Sunday, Orton and Sheamus do. My early projection is that Sheamus is going to get the win back. Because remember, Orton went over at Battleground last month in Orton's hometown of St. Louis. So I think it only makes sense that Sheamus goes over and evens the score here a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But that's my early projection. We'll see. Am I going to stick with that come Friday night? We'll see. As far as Kevin Owens and Cesaro goes, oh my goodness, that's definitely going to be a man fight. There's no question about this. I mean, it's going to be a straight up smash mouth physical matchup, and I know Michael Fletcher is going to, without question, there's no out of all of us here at the forum, there's not one man on this panel that has more of a vested interest in that Owens and Cesaro fight than one Michael Fletcher, because Michael Fletcher's specialty are be-a-man fights. Be-a-man fights are Michael Fletcher's specialty. Believe me, I've known this guy for 21 years, and since day one, he's always been about the be-a-man fight. And trust me, he's going to keep that thing going. He's going to keep that going forever and ever on that. So, just like, and he's right. It's been well documented about Mr. Bullock and myself. You know how much we love our technical wrestling masterclasses. Owens to Cesaro ain't going to be no technical wrestling masterclass. It's going to be a straight-up, smash-mouth, and the epitome of the words be-a-man fight. That thing's got 3.5 to 4 stars easily. Could it be even better? We're just going to have to wait and see on this. But that's a tough one to call. It really is. As of now, I'm leaning towards Kevin Owens in that one. But then again, you never know. They could go with Cesaro, so we'll have to wait and see. But thankfully, I have until Friday to make up my mind on that one. But what I can tell you is that this fight that we just saw tonight, that was a solid 3-star effort, and it was the second best fight of the night. So well done to all 4 men involved. So with that said, we're going to move on to our next match as part of the Monday Night Raw here. And Michael Fletcher is going to lead off on this one, and I know he's going to have a lot of fun with it. Return match from last Thursday night on SmackDown. It was the master of the Superman Punch, Roman Reigns, with Dean Ambrose in his corner, going up against Luke Harper with Bray Wyatt in his corner. Winner of the match in 14 minutes and 22 seconds. It was the master of the Superman Punch himself, Roman Reigns, pinfall victory via the spear. Michael Fletcher, lucky you. You get to lead off on this be-a-man fight.
Top fight of the night. One of the top fights of the night. And gentlemen, 3 to 3.5 stars. I gotta call it. This was unbelievable. This was, you know what? Normally, when you see a Roman Reigns versus Luke Harper fight, you're thinking, oh man, I don't know, maybe. Guys, these guys blew it out of the box tonight. This was freaking amazing. I loved it. This was a true be-a-man fight. It was a true knockdown, drag-out fight. But again, it was exciting. The body of work was there. I love the fact that they incorporated Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt in it as well. So it had the makings of a solid fight, and it was good for what it was worth. And it had more than ample time, almost 15 minutes. I think you said what, like the 14:32, Anthony, unofficially?
14 minutes and 22 seconds on my notes.
14:22. I mean, that's almost 15 minutes. Dude, who on earth would have thought on a Monday Night Raw you get a fight for almost 15 minutes? You don't. Hardly ever do you get a fight over about near 15 minutes. And this absolutely delivered on everything. This actually got me excited for the fight Sunday night in the tag team between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the Wyatts. I'm actually excited for this fight now. So, whatever the case may be, one of the top fights of the night, you know what, I could even call it the fight of the night. 3 to 3.5 stars. Anthony, go.
You know what, Fletch? This was the fight of the night, as far as I'm concerned. And Mr. Bullock, I know, will agree with me because, like I said, we went the distance tonight. We saw this match, and we thought it couldn't get any better than that Orton Cesaro Sheamus Owens tag match. It did. I'm just gonna go a little smidge higher on this one, Fletch. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. And yes, I do agree. It was the fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, a very good match, some great near falls down the stretch. The excitement level for that tag team match at SummerSlam, where Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose will be going up against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. And on Friday night, I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna save it for Friday night. I came across a possible scenario when it comes to what could happen in this fight. This scenario has been rumored before, but they're rumoring it. This is a possible rumor again. I don't think Derek Ferreira did a sports blog on this, but I came across a dirt sheet about a week or so ago, and I'm not going to say anything more. I'm going to save that scenario that I came across for when we talk about this particular bout on Friday night as part of our special Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum, which will be taking the place of Strictly Sports. We'll get more into that when I announce the future content at the end of our show tonight. But nonetheless, with all that said, 3.25, teetering on 3.5 stars, fight of the night. Well done, Roman Reigns, and well done, Luke Harper. And I'll tell you what, Roman Reigns and that Superman punch just gets my adrenaline going each and every time I see it. He did it twice in the match. You notice Luke Harper was going for, it looked like Harper was going to go for a suicide dive as Roman was outside the ring. And then as he was getting ready to take off, boom, Roman gets him with a Superman. And then Roman hits him with another Superman a few minutes later, then the spear, and that's it. And then that was pretty much it. This is going to be another one of the top fights of the night at SummerSlam, this tag team match. You thought it was good when we had all 3 members of the Shield and all 3 members of the Wyatt family. Of course, we're missing Seth Rollins and Eric Rowan. Of course, Eric Rowan out with injury, and who knows how long he's going to be out. And, of course, Seth Rollins is, of course, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's got a pretty big match coming up at SummerSlam, if I do say so myself. So, yeah, which we'll get into later. But for right now, I got a good feeling about that tag match. I think we're looking at 3.5 to 4 easy based on these guys' body of work. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll get more into this on Friday night, and I'll definitely drop that bomb scenario that I came across last week, which has been rumored before, oh, by the way. 3.25 to 3.5 stars, fight of the night. Well done, Roman Reigns. Well done, Luke Harper. And that tag team match at SummerSlam is definitely going to be one of the top fights of the night, for sure. Michael Bullock, how in the world do you follow that?
I do agree. Fight of the night, 3.25, 3.5 stars. Man, I mean, this was a fun match here. Again, another match with chock full of Shakespearean drama, and yes, I do agree. I think this is definitely going to be another one of the top fights of the night. The matchup with Ambrose and Reigns against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. So yeah, so definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, and I'll be interested to hear that the scenario come Friday night when we do our preview. So yeah, so really got nothing more to say except 3.25, 3.5 stars. Fight of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
I don't have to ask the question, but you already know what the answer is going to be. I'm not even going to ask it. You know, we're all ready for Hot Divas action. Everybody knows that. Everybody and their mother knows that. So, so much so that we're not getting just one match. No, we're getting two Divas matches on this edition of Monday Night Raw tonight. And this was the first one. It was representing Team PCB, Becky Lynch, along with her partners, Charlotte and Paige, going up against, representing Team Bad, Tamina Snuka, and accompanied by her cohorts, Naomi, and the NXT Women's Champion, the Boss, Sasha Banks. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 15 seconds, via submission with the disarmer, it was the fiery redhead from Dublin, Ireland, Becky Lynch. Too short for my liking. That's the only criticism I have. But other than that, I thought in the 4:15 that we got of this match, guys, I thought it was a very solid effort from both ladies. There was a second Diva fight, and that one was definitely far and away better. I'm not going to say it was a typical ho-hum Diva fight, because it was anything but that, because there was some good action throughout. The best rating I can give this is between 1.5 and 2 stars. 1.5 to 2 stars is the rating I'm going to give for this first of 2 Divas matches on this Go Home to SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw. And I'll save my thoughts on let's save our early thoughts on the Diva elimination match at SummerSlam before when we talk about the next Diva fight, which, believe it or not, did something that's very rare on Monday Night Raw. That's only been done, I believe, twice before when it comes to the in-ring wrestling portion of the show. So, what did they do? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. But for right now, 1.5 to 2 stars. Even though it was too short for my liking, I thought the action was solid and as good as it can get. So fine for what it was. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Bull?
Yeah. As far as I do agree. It was a good match, but it was too short for my liking. I do agree. It was a 1.5 to 2 star match, but the action I thought was fine for what it was, and another good. Once again, Team PCB continues to dominate this whole ever since the announcement of the Divas Revolution. So, very interesting to see how this elimination match goes at SummerSlam. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But other than that, 1.5 to 2 stars. So, Fletch, I give it to you.
1 3/4 to 2 stars is my rating for the fight. I think it was definitely good for what it was worth. Like you guys said, too short for the liking, but it was solid action. But a lot of people do junk a lot about Tamina Snuka and her wrestling ability lately. A lot of people feel like she is an accident waiting to happen, unfairly, I believe. But some people do talk down about her, and there was some people that has been a little bit down on Becky Lynch. I don't know why, but there has been a few from the IWC that actually has taken aim at Becky Lynch as well. So, I mean, you can't please everybody. I get that. But it was a solid fight. It was a good match. I'll say that. Good match, but not a great match. Again, too short for my liking. But 1 3/4 to 2, I'll give that. I think it was good enough for me. Let's move on, guys.
All right, we're going to move on to our next matchup here. It was Rusev, accompanied by Summer Rae, going up against Mark Henry for the 1 millionth time in a lifetime. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 49 seconds, it was the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev. But wait, there's more. What do I mean by that? Well, extracurricular activity, my friends. Oh yes, there was extracurricular activity. Lana, Rusev and Summer were, getting ready to, head back up the ramp and, make their way into the back, into the locker room area. Not so fast. Lana comes in the ring, takes her heels off, she's barefoot, ready to rock and roll, and I thought she was gonna, grab the mic and, say some derogatory things, but he's like, Summer, get your ass in here. I'm calling your ass out. Here she comes. Summer takes off her heels. You got two barefoot ladies in the ring, go ready to rock and roll and go at it here. He takes down Summer, and then she's like, Rusev, get your ass in here. We're thinking, are you crazy, girl? Nope. Chants of Ziggler in Minneapolis. And a couple of very hot facial expressions. And then you hear the bars. I'm here to show the world. I'm here to give it all. And then once you heard that, he's back. The show-off. Dolph Ziggler is back, folks. And I believe I had this one. I came across a dirt sheet some time ago saying that Ziggler would be ready to come back for the go-home show to SummerSlam, and sure enough, they were right. What do I always say about these things? Read into it what you will. And what does Derek Ferrera always say? Take it with a grain of salt. You heard Lana say, oh, he's not going to be back until the following week. Lana teased us, boys. Kudos to the ravishing Russian, indeed. Well done, my dear. Well done. As far as the fight is concerned, I think it was, well, I don't know how to rank it, to be honest with you. It was definitely one of the better efforts, even though it was really nothing to really get all excited about. Solid 1 star, I guess. I guess a solid 1 star for the effort, to be honest here, because there was some all right action, and we had an actual finish this time. But nonetheless, Ziggler's back, and guess what, folks? You thought 9 matches was enough for SummerSlam? 9 matches ain't enough. Let's go for a perfect 10, boys. And we have ourselves a 10th match for SummerSlam for the first time since the very first SummerSlam in 1988, Madison Square Garden. The SummerSlam card, gentlemen, is going to have 10 matches. Oh, yes, 10 matches. Because just added to the SummerSlam card tonight, Dolph Ziggler with Lana in his corner, one-on-one with the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev, with Summer Rae in his corner. 1 star for the effort. As far as Rusev and Henry goes, it is one of the worst fights of the night, unfortunately. So with that said, Michael Bullock, you know the routine. Your thoughts on the Rusev-Henry match, and also your thoughts on Rusev and Ziggler for SummerSlam. And we had this one, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, first off, I do agree. Henry and Rusev was just a smidget better than what we got last week with the cop-out finish. But it was still definitely one of the worst fights of the night. I'll give it somewhere between half to 1 star for what it was. But we knew this wasn't going to be anything good anyway, so yeah. And then after the match, Lana comes in and basically challenges Summer Rae, and then she slaps the taste out of Summer Rae, and then she dares Rusev to come in, and as Florio and I were watching, like, something's got to be up here. As soon as you started hearing the fans chanting Ziggler, Ziggler, and Lana was looking, that's when you heard the music, and the show-off is back. Dolph Ziggler's back. He goes to town on Rusev, and then Lana with a kick of her own to Summer Rae. So, man, yeah. So what happened after the match was better than the match itself. So, and yep, now it's official. It'll be Dolph Ziggler with Lana in his corner going up against Rusev with Summer Rae in his corner. So, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how that match goes. I mean, it could be. I think it could be a good match. Not great, but we'll have to wait and see. So half to 1 star for the match, but what happened afterwards was better. So with that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yeah. For the first time tonight, this was the letdown moment. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to talk about the Rusev and Mark Henry fight because I'm not going to waste any time or my breath on that. But I will say this. To see what went down with Lana, with Summer Rae, with the returning Dolph Ziggler and Rusev, now that is a story in itself. Lana, that was a good kick, man. I mean, I was surprised. I didn't think she was going to get that high up with that kick. She nailed her good. That caught me off guard. So, it looks like she is training a little bit. We'll see we'll see what happens at SummerSlam. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued a little bit with that. Definitely very impressive, to say the very least. And then, Ziggler back just in time. Glad to see him back. And who knows? This might be the blow-off, or maybe they'll keep this rivalry going for a little bit. We'll wait and see what happens there. But solid segment. I liked it. Nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Yep, and we are indeed going to move on. And we are going to move on to, well, let's see what we got here. Oh, boy. Okay. Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Ryback. It was Ryback time. Going one-on-one with the Awesome One himself, The Miz. The winner of the match in 3 minutes and 22 seconds. It was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Ryback. So, I do believe Mr. Bullock gets the bad luck here. He gets the luck of the draw, and not in a good way. So, Mr. Bullock, I think you know what this means, right?
Yeah, you know what this means. The Michael Bullock, I can't take it face, shows up. So, yeah. As far as this match goes, you know what? I'm gonna say this was a dud. It definitely, to me, this was the worst fight of the night. I mean, I really wasn't feeling this match at all. I mean, it basically was like, it almost like had the feeling of a squash match when it comes to this. I mean, I understand you're trying to build a little bit for that triple threat Intercontinental Championship match, but really wasn't sold on it. And yeah, and I have this bad feeling that this is definitely this triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship is gonna be one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. But then again, maybe it could be something good. But because remember, Florian and I even talked about this during the show tonight, and I know he'll back me up on it. Because remember, Big Show and Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship at Hell in a Cell. We all said, it wasn't going to be anything good. It was going to be slow. It was boring.
And a cluster bleep.
And a cluster bleep, but it ended up being the fight of the night. So.
And the sleeper fight of 2012, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And so you never know. It could this match could turn out to be something good, but I'm not really holding my breath on that. So dud, worst fight of the night. Fletcher, go. It's yours.
Do I even need to? Do I even need to explain? I'm not going Cerebral Viper tonight, guys. I'm not in the mood. I don't have the patience. Don't have the time. Dud. Worst fight of the night. Florio, go.
I'll make it unanimous. I note that this was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. This was a squash match, a squash showcase for Ryback. And, of course, at SummerSlam, Ryback versus Big Show versus Miz, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Don't expect a ravishing Rick Rude Ultimate Warrior 4 1/4 to 4.5 star classic from SummerSlam '89 in this one, folks. Oh, no. And they're going to be anything like that. Trust me. And as of now, I have this as one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. So, yeah. Nothing left to say. An absolute waste of time, but it was a cool-down moment. They needed to give the crowd that cool-down moment. So, with that said, now we go back to the good stuff. The contract signing for the winner-take-all WWE title-for-title match at SummerSlam. John Cena Seth Rollins, the United States Heavyweight Champion, and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, along with Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, who are presiding. So with that said, nothing left to say here. Michael Fletcher, luck of the draw smiles upon you, sir. Your thoughts on this contract signing?
What a moment. What a contract signing. And for once, no violence after the contracts were signed. Wow. Way to go, WWE. You actually did something a little different this time around. I'll admit, this was pretty cool. Seth Rollins comes out, starts spewing all his venom like he normally does. Then John Cena comes out, and, he actually talked real sense. Yes, he got a brand new shirt, a brand new hat, the 20 millionth different combination this time. Now looks like a freaking Miami Hurricane with his new gear. I don't know why, but I'm not going there, because you know what's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna start yelling Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops or Toucan Sam. I don't care. Not my business. Not my fight. But I will say this. John Cena brought up something that was very interesting. He brought up the fact that if he wins on Sunday night, that is number 16. He ties the Nature Boy Ric Flair's all-time record for the most reigns as World Heavyweight Champion. And he talked about the parallel between Triple H, Ric Flair, and Seth Rollins. Think about this. Ric Flair anointed Triple H, trained him, took him under his wing as the future of professional wrestling in the early 2000s. Now Triple H passed that torch to Seth Rollins to be the present and possibly the future of the WWE. John Cena could tie a record that at one time seemed like virtually impossible to get. The all-time record of the most World Heavyweight title reigns in professional wrestling history. 16 is the record. It's an unreachable stat. But records are made to be broken. Nobody ever thought that Ty Cobb's 41-31 or 41-30 was ever going to be challenged or get. But I will say this. One thing is for sure. All records are made to be broken. And who knows what could happen if John Cena does the impossible. If he breaks that record, if he ties the 16 time, you know the IWC is going to flip the hell out. I know that. It's going to be a riot on the internet that night. Lord knows what we're going to be dealing with on Sunday night when we do the recap. If John Cena does tie the record, one thing is for sure. You can say whatever you want to say about John Cena. No doubt about it. But he is now in a situation where he could do it. And what would be the ramifications if he does it? What does that mean for Seth Rollins? What does that mean for his reign as champion? Could this be the moment where Reigns at the time was deemed the undisputed future of the business? John Cena made a very compelling note. If he loses, he becomes a footnote in history. He becomes another trivia question in the annals of time. Now, I already considered it not one of the greatest title reigns in WWE history. If he loses to John Cena, if John Cena unifies the United States and the WWE World Heavyweight titles, I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I don't give a damn if this gets me heat or whatnot. I'm going to call it as is. Seth Rollins' reign as WWE World Heavyweight Champion would be a complete and utter failure if he loses to John Cena Sunday night at SummerSlam. End of quotation, end of statement, period. Florio, it is all yours.
Wow.
I'm not even going to
Fletch,
try.
tell us how you really feel, man.
He just did, and I don't know if I can follow
And he
that.
put a cherry on top of that one.
Before I give my thoughts, I want to share some contents with you guys. Came across a dirt sheet. I told Bullock about this earlier, and I don't know if you came across it too, Fletch, but I came across this dirt sheet. Ric Flair was on some podcast recently, and he was asked about the possibility, how would he feel if John Cena were to not only tie his record, but surpass it. Ric Flair said, and I quote, "I'd be thrilled if John Cena tied my record and surpassed it. I think the world of John, and he has been the flagship for the company for a long time. And if John were to catch that title again, and then he can surpass the record, I would be very proud of him," end quote. So yeah, I mean, sounds like John Cena's got an endorsement. Not just any endorsement. You got an endorsement from the man himself, my man, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Yes, doesn't get any better than that when you get an endorsement from him. I mean, come on. But nonetheless, it's definitely one of the segments of the night. I mean, I probably would have to say the second best segment of the night, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's between this, and it's also between the main event segment tonight. I mean, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Seth Rollins does his usual shtick, his usual cocky heel promo, his smarky heel promo, and all that. Cena gets in there, magic. I mean, the seriousness that he showed. Yes, I agree with Fletcher. His outfit does look like something out of the Miami Hurricanes collection, and I know Bullock agrees with that as well. And yes, make no mistake about it. This fight here is going to be the second best fight of the night come SummerSlam. We're looking at a solid 4 to 4.5 stars if all should go well. This signing here came out really good, very, very well done. Cena wasn't. I mean, both men were great. I mean, Rollins as that cocky, arrogant, smarky heel that everybody loves to hate, and John Cena coming up as the serious, passionate, like he always does. I mean, those intense, serious, passionate promos that Cena, cuts, top notch, man. Doesn't get any better than that, in all honesty. And Cena hit another one out of the park tonight. And it's very tough for me to call this. My gut is telling me right now that John Cena comes out of this, once again, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. My heart is telling me that Rollins goes over by nefarious means, maybe via, hopefully not, but maybe via authority shenanigans. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on this. But make no mistake about it, this is going to be the second best fight of the night come SummerSlam. And it's definitely a match that we're all looking forward to. I mean, it's not often we get these kind of matches in WWE. As I recall, there have been some. I mean, we all remember the original title for title match. The match that, brought Michael Fletcher and I together. How our friendship first started 21 years ago. WrestleMania 6, the Ultimate Challenge. The Ultimate Warrior, the late great Ultimate Warrior, was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. after beating Ravishing Rick Rude at SummerSlam '89. Hulk Hogan was the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. He was the champion. He had held that thing since beating Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 5 when the Mega Powers exploded. Something had to give in the Skydome in Toronto in front of 67,678 fans. April Fool's Day, 1990. When all was said and done, the Ultimate Warrior shocked the world and shocked the nation when he beat Hulk Hogan and became the new World Wrestling Federation champion. Short time later, he relinquished the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It was put up in a tournament. The late, great Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, he won that via beating Tito Santana in a very good final. I'll tell you that right now. Which is on the YouTube, by the way. Check it out. It was a really good match. And then from there, do you remember this one, guys? How about SummerSlam 1999? When D'Lo Brown held both the European and Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships and defended it against Jeff Jarrett. And thanks to a little help from Mark Henry, Jeff Jarrett became the new European and Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Short time later, he gave the European title to Mark Henry as a reward for helping him, while he, Jeff Jarrett, held on to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. He held that for a couple months before dropping it to China. Johnny Lauer had No Mercy in that Good Housekeeping match. Unhidden gem, by the way. And then, of course, the last time we can remember seeing a match of this caliber. No Mercy, 2002, Little Rock, Arkansas. Kane, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, going up against the World Heavyweight Champion, Triple H. When all was said and done, it was the game. Triple H, who walked out of Little Rock. Still, the World Heavyweight Champion and the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Title goes away for 7 months. Bada boom, Judgment Day 2003, they bring that title back as part of a battle royal. Christian wins it. End of story. So my question is this, guys. What's the fate of the United States Heavyweight Championship going to be come Sunday night? Regardless of who wins. Will Cena or Rollins relinquish it so they can hang on to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? And then maybe they put it up in a tournament or a battle royal or something like that? One thing's for sure. The fate of the United States Heavyweight Championship, that is the wild card for me. You know, Cena or Rollins, whoever comes out of that thing, they're going to want to hang on to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and they're just going to cast the U.S. title aside. And it'll either be a tournament or a battle royal. Very good contract signing. I got to say it was the second best segment of the night by a slim margin. But it was a very good segment. Everybody came off really good. Rollins has that cocky, arrogant, smarky heel that you love to hate. And John Cena has that serious, passionate, and intense all-American hero that all the kiddies and all the ladies love very much. I did my best to follow it, to follow Michael Fletcher. Now Michael Bullock has the unenviable task of having to follow both of us. So, Mr. Bullock, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, sir. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I do agree. It was the second best segment of the night. I mean, very well done and very surprising that there was no physicality in this contract signing. Because when I heard that there was going to be a contract signing with these two, I was like, oh boy, it's not gonna end well. But no, as soon as John Cena signed the contract, he basically just walked away after. But he really made some very valid statements, basically saying, "What happens if you lose the title? What is Triple H basically gonna think of you if you end up losing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship this Sunday?" And yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to wonder what's going to happen with the U.S. title, no matter the outcome come Sunday. It's going to be very interesting. But either way, this is going to be a very good match. I think this is going to be the second best fight of the night, in my estimation. But it's going to be a solid match, and can't wait to see what the outcome is for this title match, or this title for title match. So yeah, so you guys pretty much touched on everything. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
Yeah, how are we gonna follow that? So, with that said, we gotta move on. Um, well, okay, we're gonna have some fun with this one. This was an 8-man tag team match. The 4 teams that are going to be involved in the Fatal 4-Way WWE Tag Team Championship match at SummerSlam. On one side, you had the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, teaming up with the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara and Kalisto, going up against Los Matadores, Diego and Fernando with El Torito, and the New Day, Biggie Langston, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. Winners of the match, in 2 minutes and 50 seconds, it was the Lucha Dragons. Lucha Dragons and the Primetime Players picked up the win via a Lucha Dragon. It was Kalisto with a very interesting, with like a Frankensteiner type move. I believe it was on one of the New Day guys in that one. So the Luchas and the Primetime Players get the Duke in that one. So I do believe the luck of the draw does not smile on me for a change. So I got to take this one.
Well, I don't envy you.
It was the Calio de Sol is what they call that bulldog maneuver that you're talking about, Florio. Calio de Sol that Kalisto does. That's his actual finisher in NXT.
Oh, Michael Fletcher, I love when you throw those accents there. You know how much I love that. You know that by now. So that it never gets old. I love it. Oh man, I don't know how to follow that, but I'm gonna do my best. Calio del Sol, indeed. Half to 1 star for this. Very disappointing. I mean, I was expecting a more solid effort here, but nonetheless, the Primetime Players and the Luchas, they go over. Now, I told Michael Bullock this when I chatted with him earlier. Michael Fletcher, I'm telling you this right now. Last week on this show, you poked the bear. You poked me, talking about how I chant New Day rocks and New Day rocks and all that. Well, we're going to have some fun with this. Here comes the fun part. As you know, at SummerSlam, there's going to be a Fatal 4-Way for the tag team titles with the 4 teams I just mentioned. We're going to put down a little wager right here and now. No, it's not going to be for money. It's just going to be for some straight-up bragging rights. And I know Fletcher and Bullock are definitely all ears for this. Well, Mr. Bullock already is, but I told him the terms of this earlier. Fletch, I'm telling you this for the first time. Here comes the wager here. If the Primetime Players successfully defend the tag team titles, then you, Fletch, and Bullock, you two can drive me nuts and do the millions of dollars all you want. God forbid if the Lucha Dragons go over and they win the belts, then the two of you can drive me nuts just as much as the millions of dollars thing goes, with your chance of Lucha, 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 Lucha. If Los Matadores wins, well, I think we can all agree we'll just go on rants if God forbid they put the belts on Los Matadores. However, if the New Day goes over, I wasn't going to do this, but Michael Fletcher poked the bear last week. If New Day wins, guys, and they win the titles, I'm going to rub it in your faces, and I'm going to do the New Day rocks. New Day rocks. So what do you say, fellas? Is it a wager or what?
I'm in. I'm down.
I'm in too.
All right, we're all agreed. If Los Matadores go over, we go on rants. Big time rants. If if the Luchas win, Fletch and Bullock, you guys can do your little Lucha chants all you want and drive me nuts. The primetime players successfully defend, then you two can do your little millions of dollars. But if the New Day goes over, then I will get in your faces, and I will do the New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks. So there you go. Half to 1 star. It's another one of the worst fights of the night. A very disappointing fight. I was really looking forward to it. I honestly don't know how to call it when it comes to the SummerSlam fight. Once again, I'll say it. Thankfully, I have until Friday to figure it out. I'll think long and hard about it, and I'll get back to you on Friday night for our big show. So with that said, half to 1 star for this effort. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this 8-man?
I'm actually gonna give it a 1/4 star for the. I know I'm sounding real generous here. I just was very disappointed in this 8-man tag team match. I was expecting something really better than what we got here, and we just did not get it. I'm so disappointed in it. But at least the Lucha Dragons got the pinfall, so Fletcher, I don't know if you want to do this, but if you would, please join me.
Let's give Floyd a little warm-up of what could happen on
yeah, let's just give him a little example of what could happen.
Lucha, 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 Lucha.
And then, of course, let's give him another example with the...
No.
No, let's save it for...
Let's save it for Sunday.
Yeah, this is just the appetizer, as we like to say. So, yeah, so a 1/4 star for me. Fletcher, it's yours.
I know you wanted it to do the millions of dollars, but come on, Bullock. I think we don't want.
Yeah, I think we should say it's just the appetizer.
Yeah, we don't want to overkill it on that one. Besides, the Lucha Dragons was the one that got the win. We celebrate the Luchas tonight. They get the victory. They get the chant from me and Bullock tonight. And whoever wins on Sunday night. If it's a little snuff to daughters, yeah, Bullock and Floyd will probably rant. You know what? I'm not gonna rant on it. I just might tip my cap, say congratulations, ole to you gentlemen, and well done. But do I want them to be tag team champions? No. Do I want the New Day to be tag team champions? Especially now that Floyd threw that out, that little caveat out. Oh hell no! I don't want them to win. To win the tag team titles now. If Lucha Dragons does some way somehow win the belt, hey, I'll be happy with that. I think they should be tag team champions. But my prediction is I think we're gonna be doing millions of dollars on Sunday night because I think the primetime players will successfully defend the tag team titles. That's just my personal opinion. Nobody else's. And as far as the fight goes, yeah, I'll give it 1/4 to 1/2 star, no doubt about that. Nothing else to go with, so let's just move on.
Okay, moving on to our next matchup here. It was the second of our. Well, actually, before I get into it, it was announced that on SmackDown this Thursday night, there's going to be an 8-man tag team matchup. Listen to this, guys. Randy Orton, Cesaro, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose going up against Sheamus, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper. 8-man tag team match this Thursday night on SmackDown. Definitely looking forward to seeing how that plays out. You better believe that. Now, on to the second of our two Divas matches. Champion versus champion, don't you know, guys? NXT Women's Champion, The Boss, Sasha Banks, along with her Team Bad Sisters, Naomi and Tamina Snuka, going up against the WWE Divas Champion, Nikki Bella, along with her sister Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. Winner of the match, via submission in 10 minutes and 34 seconds, the NXT Women's Champion, Sasha Banks, wins it with the Banks statement. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this what was definitely the better of the two Diva fights tonight.
Yeah, this was definitely the better of the two Diva fights here tonight. I'm actually going to give this, I'm going to go somewhere between 2.5 to 3 stars on this. I'm going somewhere between that range. Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good Divas match here. Yeah, I mean, definitely Sasha Banks definitely making a statement, of course, with the Banks statement. I mean, getting the current Divas champion to submit here. I mean, yeah, so, and of course, this is not the only match you're going to be seeing from her, of course, and of course, besides her involvement in the elimination match this Sunday, but of course, Saturday, on the NXT Takeover Brooklyn on the WWE Network, she's going to be defending the NXT Women's title against Bayley, and well, as this has pretty much been the theme of our show here. You'll have to wait till Friday night on our preview special, where I'll give you my prediction on who's going to win the Divas Championship. I mean, Floyer and I already know who's going to win, but we'll elaborate more come Friday night. But all in all, I mean, once again, I mean, it hasn't been good for the Bellas so far since the announcement of the Divas Revolution. I mean, it's only been one win for them, and during this whole Divas Revolution, and of course, y'all know it's been all PCB. So yeah, so they'll have to. Yeah, so we'll wait and see what happens. So 2.5 to 3 stars, even though I'm leaning more towards 2.5, if I'm going to be quite honest here. So with that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Definitely 2.5 stars is my rating for the fight, but my goodness, what a major win for the NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks. But yes, you gotta have to admit, and before we play this, guys, we gotta call it as we saw it. There was a little interference by Naomi. She hopped up on the apron where it looked like Nikki was going for the rack attack. The next thing you know, the double knees to the back, rolls her up right into the Banks statement, and then something we never ever thought we would ever see. Nikki Bella slamming her hand down on the canvas. Tap out. I give up. Wow. That is actually remarkable, and that's even shocking. And I know there's a few fans in the IWC was probably saying, yeah, she actually tapped out. She actually jobbed to one of these, she jobbed it out to Sasha Banks once again. And of course, you're going to get those people that are going to talk about how great the boss is and how big of a player she's going to be now and the whole 9 yards. You know, we've seen Becky Lynch has been making a big push lately. We've seen Charlotte, you know, when she's had her moments, she's gotten a few victories. Now Sasha Banks with probably the biggest win of her career up to this point with the tap-out victory over the Divas champion. I mean, you want to talk about momentum going to SummerSlam. That's the biggest momentum you can get, you know. So who knows what we're going to expect. This elimination fight is going to be very interesting to watch, and it's practically like Survivor Series rules, guys. The last Diva standing wins it. So basically, both...
Not so fast, Mike. Not so fast, Dom. I'll get into that as soon as you're done.
All right. But I agree. 2.5 stars is my rating for it. So, all right, Floyo, elaborate. What am I missing here then?
I actually heard Tom Phillips on SmackDown. Of course, Fletch doesn't watch SmackDown anymore. I don't know why, but I know he's busy and whatnot. But I'll tell you what. Let me explain for those of you who don't know. I found out from Tom Phillips as he was calling SmackDown the other night. I remember this is how he said it. I know this is probably not going to go over. This is not going to be a popular way to decide this bout, but here you go. It is an elimination match, yes. but it's not the elimination match you think it is. It's not going to be one by one by one last diva standing. No. This is how it's going to work. Like what we saw tonight. If, let's say, for example, Becky Lynch submits to Mina Snuka. If that happens, all 3 members of Team Bad are gone. If one goes, I think you heard this lingo before. If one goes, the whole team goes. That's how it's going to work. That's what I overheard Tom Phillips saying on the last SmackDown on Thursday night during the Charlotte and Naomi fight. Yes, that's how it's going to go down. If one member of a diva taps out or gets pinned or whatever, the entire faction is gone. So that's how the match will be decided at SummerSlam.
And let me just say for the record how that is the most idiotic and stupidest idea I ever heard in my freaking life right now. I mean, seriously? Okay. I would understand. I would prefer this to be Survivor Series rules, not the garbage you just spewed, Anthony Florio. And if that's the direction that you did, then this is a Morocco Mole whoopsie. This is a Mr. McMagma, and this is a Ren and Stimpy, you fucking idiots!
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that you were all set. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I wish it would be the one by one by one by one, last diva standing, winner takes all in that regard. But no, that's what I heard. It's basically like the old tag team matches at the old Survivor Series. One goes, the whole team goes. But I'll say it like this. As far as this fight is concerned, this was a solid 2.5 to 3 stars. This was another one of the top fights of the night. I probably would say that this was the 3rd best fight of the night, if I'm being honest with you. Far and away the better of the 2 diva matches. I mean, you know, say what you want about the Bella Twins or Bella Snobs or whatever you want to call them, but they've gotten a lot better. I will admit that. Nikki Bella has gotten so much better over the last couple of years, and I got to give her credit where credit is due. And then from there, well, we already know the body of work of Sasha Banks. I mean, nobody knows that better than Michael Fletcher does. Well, not just Michael Fletcher, but also his 2184 crew mentor, if you will, Bill McConnell. I mean, I know those 2 guys. I know you and Old Man McConnell, Fletcher. I know you 2 are, you know, definitely it's well documented, the love affair you 2 have with Sasha Banks. Not just because of her beauty, but also because of her body of work. And I can certainly understand why. This young lady is absolutely incredible. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think she drops the NXT Women's title to Bayley on Saturday night. You heard that here first. And I'll elaborate some more on that come Friday night when we do our big NXT preview and SummerSlam edition of the Wrestling Forum Friday night. But nonetheless, only reason being is that Sasha Banks is, you know, on the main roster, just like Kevin Owens. You know, Kevin Owens dropped the NXT Championship to Finn Balor at that Beast in the East event back on the 4th of July in Tokyo. And why? It's because Kevin Owens is on the main roster and Finn Balor is just getting his feet wet in NXT. So that's why he's that's why he's got the belt. So we'll wait and see on that. But for right now, this was 2.5 to 3 stars. And I'm very surprised with something here, guys. Well, Bullock, you already know how I feel about this. I don't think I told Fletch this, but I never thought that when this revolution started a month ago, that Team Bella would only have 1 win. 1 win. To their credit. 1 win. Unbelievable. Team Bad has about, I want to say, between 3 or 4, maybe 5 on top.
Maybe this is a way of like saying, hey, it's not all about the Bellas. It's more than that.
Right. And of course, the dominant faction as of right now is Team PCB, who's got like 8 or 9 wins to their credit right now. They're the dominant faction.
But here's the real telling sign: is what is the outcome of Sunday night's fight?
Absolutely.
Because that's gonna become the real talking point. If Page Teams win, if PCB wins that fight, then we are literally in a diva revolution. If Team Bad wins this, depending on who Team Bad wins it, then we're going to say is that it's good, it's strong, and we'll wait and see. If Team Bella walks out of here and wins this fight, then it's the status quo. It's still the Bella's division to rule, and the IWC is going to go absolutely insane.
Especially me and Bullet.
So, I mean, this fight on Sunday night is very telling in what the direction is of the Divas division. Is the Revolution here to stay? Is it just, maybe a little bit of an uprising with some newer talent? Or are we or is this Diva Revolution nothing but another wash and just another reason why the Bellas are still the ball of the division? And if they are, then we're going to really find out the direction of the division on Sunday night after this fight, because that's going to be a very telling sign.
Without a doubt. I agree with Officer Bob here. I mean, just absolutely amazing, guys. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, Fletch made it, just touched on everything. If the Bella Snobs go over, yeah, it's business as usual. And it'll be like this last month was, nothing but a farce, a sham. If Team Bad goes over, yeah, okay, that's definitely a step in the right direction. Team PCB goes over, well, no question about it. The Revolution's here to stay. And my early projection is Team PCB is going to go over. That's who I have winning that fight. And I got Charlotte Flair I think Team Bad's going to go down first. I wouldn't be surprised if Tamina takes the fall here. And then it'll set up Team PCB against Team Bella. And Charlotte Flair is going to submit Nikki Bella with the figure 8. And that will set up Night of Champions, Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella will be on day number 301 as Divas Champion. She'll have done the two things that WWE had wanted out of this whole thing. Number one, for Nikki Bella to surpass AJ Lee, because, they want to distance themselves from AJ Lee as far as possible, just as much as they want to distance themselves from her husband, CM Punk. And then on top of that, it will put Nikki Bella just over the 300-day mark. Once that happens, come September 20th, at the Night of Champions, the Toyota Center, Houston, Texas, it's on that night. Nikki Bella will finally drop the belt, and Charlotte Flair is going to win it, and her father, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, get the Kleenex out, folks. They're going to have perhaps the most emotional father-daughter moment you will ever see in professional wrestling. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But that's what I hope happens. That's just my personal scenario. But nonetheless, this fight here tonight, 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating for it. So yeah, SummerSlam, 3-team elimination match. If one goes, the whole team goes. I know Flex doesn't like it. I don't like it. I wish it would be that one by one. And
I don't like it either.
Yep, we're all unanimous here. I'm not at all surprised by that. So that's all there is to say about that. So, all right. Well, oh, my. Gentlemen, it was fun. And now, the fun, unbelievable. Wow. Oh, my goodness. The homecoming of Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman in the ring. Brock Lesnar's there. He gets the hometown pop from the Target Center in Minneapolis. As expected, Taker shows up. And this is something we have not seen in over a decade. Taker getting crucified. He got the Boo Bird treatment. He got the Bautista treatment.
What?
The John Cena treatment. Wow.
And it was well deserved. He deserved to get booed tonight.
Whoa.
No.
Here we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. Oh, here go the rate. Oh, there's nothing left for me to say except there go the ratings, folks. There go the ratings. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does Fletcher start this off?
I think. Did you
'Cause
lead
I
off
believe-
on? Did you
No,
lead?
I think it's Bullock's. I think Bullock gets it first because didn't you lead off on the diva thing, Anthony?
I'm trying to think here. Let me just take a look through the notes quickly. Of course, I started the whole thing as always, and then
I
Bullock
think I may have done the divas.
Bullock had the tag.
Then it's me. Then it is me. I get it.
Let me just make sure we're correct.
Well, let's
Bullock did the tag match, and then Fletcher did Reigns and Harper.
Yep.
And then I did Becky and I believe I did the Becky and Tamina
You
fight.
did Becky Tamina.
And then Bullock had to do the Henry Rusev.
Yep.
And then I believe Fletch did.
And I had the Cena.
Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, I did the first, and then the tag team match. That was Bullock, and then Fletcher did the Reigns and Harper. I'm just trying to make sure we have this correct. Yeah, I did. I believe I did Becky and Tamina, and then that went up to Bullock doing the Henry and Rusev, and then the Ryback and the Miz. Then, which I believe that was Fletch, and then actually, I think we might have been a little off here. I think we're a little off here, because I remember leading off on that 8-man tag. Yeah, I think it is Fletcher. So
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep, it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say because I did the divas match, so that means it's your
It's
turn.
all on me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all on me.
here come the ratings, folks.
All right. Here's the reason why. Brock Lesnar comes out, everybody's all going nuts, and the whole 9 yards. And, so what happens next is, Paul Heyman spews about his client and getting ready for the fight. The lights go out, Taker does his little mind game thing the first time around. So Heyman's like, is that the best you got, Taker? Like, just daring him. So I was like, all right, cool. So he continues with the thing. The lights go out again. This time around, Taker's there. All right, fine. Are we going to get a brawl? Here's what pissed me off. The Undertaker had the nerve to hit Brock Lesnar in the mommy-daddy region. He hit him low. How on freaking earth are you going to defend yourself, Michael Bullock, to know that your man hit another brother down low below the belt? If you're gonna man up, then you face him face to face, eye to eye.
It's called sending a message.
No. Sending a message is hitting somebody upside the face and be a man. What the Undertaker did was a bitch move. Kicking them below the belt. And you know that's right. That's like you and I. If we're going to go at it, I want to face you man up. I'm not going to hit you below the belt. I ain't going to Rochambeau you like in freaking South Park.
And I would never hit you from behind.
Yeah. And that's what I felt the Undertaker did tonight. That's what I felt Taker did tonight. So he deserved to get his ass booed for what he did. I understand if it's retribution and payback and everything else, yeah, fine. But what happened there? What happened that night on Monday Night Raw, all those weeks ago, when this thing first exploded, Brock Lesnar didn't back alley gang fight Taker. He went head up with them. He met him face to face and they brawled. This time around, Taker had to be a little bitch, hit him below the belt, then tombstoned his ass right in the center of the ring. Give me a break. If this is the Undertaker we're going to see at Sunday night, that I hope Brock Lesnar kicks the living crap out of him. And I don't give a damn about what you think right now, Michael Bullock. I don't
No,
care if
no,
he's
no, no.
our biggest sympathizer, our biggest fan. Because right now, 22-1, yeah, fine, whatever. That one loss was definitely shocking and amazing. This time around, I'm going to have no freaking sympathy whatsoever if that's what's going to happen. Taker wants to do some shortcuts, that's fine. I don't mind that one bit. I'll tell you one thing's for sure. He is going to get one hell of a beatdown on Sunday night. And I'll say this. Undertaker, dead man, welcome to Brooklyn. But more importantly, one thing you're going to need to realize, brother, get ready to be Suplex City, bitch. Florio, it's yours.
Oh, yes, there go the ratings, folks.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Welcome to Tombstone City, bitch.
And Bullock, I can't wait because there was something that you wanted to say when it comes to what Lesnar did to John Cena at this time last year, and I know you haven't forgotten, and I know you're gonna elaborate on that when we get to you, but unfortunately I gotta go on this one. I gotta go first before you. We're gonna save the best for last on this one, folks. Wait till you hear what Mr. Bullock has to say when we get to him. You thought Fletcher was good? Oh, it's gonna be even better when Mr. Bullock takes the mic here. So Fletch just took the mic, he dropped it, and he walked out. So here you go. Okay, now, before I get my thoughts on this, gentlemen, I just came across a dirt sheet, which goes as follows. Following Raw going off the air on the USA Network, Brock Lesnar recovered from The Undertaker's attack and grabbed a microphone. He told the crowd that he would take The Undertaker on one last ride this Sunday at SummerSlam. He also promised to send Taker to Suplex City. He thanked the fans and left the ring. So read into that what you will. So, but what I do know is I think we can all at least we can all agree on this sense. This was the segment of the night. I mean, because of Paul Heyman. What else is new? Paul Heyman is still the reigning, defending, undisputed king of promos, guys. And he did it again tonight. He hit it out of the ballpark and then some. You know, one of the great religious hymns out there, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. Well, he did his own little version of it. Glory, Glory, Brock Lesnar. And not just that, but I also noticed that we had confetti, we had streamers floating down from the rafters at the Target Center. The only thing missing was balloons, for God's sake. I mean, normally when you have celebrations like that, when you see confetti and streamers, you would think balloons wouldn't be too far behind. Well, I'm very surprised there were no balloons. I honestly thought there would be. But there was confetti, tripod confetti, Michael Fletcher's favorite, as well as streamers. Yeah. You notice, I believe they were the colors of the University of Minnesota, which Brock Lesnar is a proud graduate of, oh, by the way. Roommates with Shelton Benjamin, oh, by the way. Little Tony fun fact for you. But nonetheless, this was a fantastic segment. I mean, Heyman made this segment what it was. I mean, that crowd was so for Lesnar. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. Taker getting the Bautista, John Cena crucifixion treatment. Wow. Never thought I'd be seeing that. I mean, we haven't seen that happen to him in 13 years. Not since he was the American Badass Undertaker and he was the heel. When he turned heel shortly after the Invasion angle ended. Everybody remembers that. He had that heel run. And during that heel run, he became the WWE Champion when he defeated Hulk Hogan at the Judgment Day in 2002 in Nashville. When they started the whole Un-Americans thing, you know, with Test and all that. So, and then he remained there. He's been in the babyface ever since. Very surprising to see Taker get a heel reaction, but I think it's just because of the fact that it was an IWC crowd there in Minneapolis. I mean, they've been definitely taking a liking to Brock Lesnar, and rightly so. I mean, he is the special attraction, just like The Undertaker is. Everybody and their mother knows this is going to be the fight of the night come SummerSlam. This is going to get 30 to 35 minutes because it's a 4-hour event. And I got a feeling this is going to be a 5-star classic. I really do. And, well, we're going to have to, I'm gonna have to think long and hard because initially I had the Undertaker going over, but now I'm starting to have second thoughts since Taker, got the last word going into the go home show here. So could Booking 101 rear its ugly head? I know Michael Bullock is damn sure not. Is damn sure hoping the answer is no, no, no on that.
I think yes.
Yeah, exactly, Fletch, and that's exactly what I'm starting to think about. But as I've said tonight, theme of the night, I'm very thankful that Friday, I have until Friday to think long and hard about who I have going over in this epic matchup. The matchup too big for WrestleMania. The rematch almost a year and a half in the making. And who will ever forget WrestleMania 30? Lesnar ends the streak. The 3 count goes down. Michael Fletcher, he and I did the commentary. Fletcher, loses his mind and screams out, "The streak is over!" I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. It's one of the greatest calls he's ever done, if not the greatest call he's ever done when it comes to professional wrestling. Which is why I'm thinking about it. I'm hoping that Fletch will be around on Sunday night because Fletch, a match of this magnitude, it's too big for us to pass up. So I don't know if you're up for it, but how would you feel about you and I doing it one more time, Gorilla and Jesse style? The match too big for WrestleMania.
I will try to get back to you on that. Unfortunately, I am working. I am working that night. I hope I'll be back in time for the fight, but there's no guarantees. But I will definitely get back to you.
All right. So yeah. A match of this magnitude. It would be great to get the original team back together. Myself and Michael Fletcher. We've had some big moments. We did the main event of Survivor Series, the Team Stina, Team Authority. We did the Royal Rumble match earlier this year. We also did the main event when Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan threw down at Fastlane for the right to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So there you go. Hopefully we can add this one to another chapter to our legacy. But if not, it's okay. No worries. But it would be awesome if we could. So just saying. But nonetheless, this was the segment of the night. This came off really good. Lesnar getting the hometown rub, Taker getting the Bautista treatment, much to the chagrin and the dismay of one Michael James Bullock, who I know is angrier than a swarm of hornets. And it's very rare he gets like this, folks. I've known this guy almost 25 years. And, he's a lot like me. He's a man of good faith. He's a gentleman and a scholar like me. And but yeah, it's very rare he gets angrier than a swarm of hornets. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, but right about now, Mr. Michael Bullock is about to do something he's never done before. He's about to go out of character here, folks. Don't consider this a heel turn, because he said he would never turn heel, just like I'll never turn heel. Fletcher, maybe, but when it comes to Mr. Bullock and myself, we don't have it in our hearts to be heel. We don't. But I think what Michael Bullock is about to do, well, it'll be one of those rare times where he'll have to channel his inner heel here. So with that said, Michael Bullock, I know you're angrier than a swarm of hornets after the way your boy got treated tonight in Minneapolis. So I'll just conclude it by saying this. Segment of the night, very well done. Paul Heyman is a promo god. That's it. All right, Mr. Bullock. Are you angrier than a swarm of hornets, or am I just imagining things?
Oh, I am angrier than a swarm of hornets. Well, first off, before that, I do agree this was the segment of the night. No doubt about it. Paul Heyman, what can you say? This is why we love his mic work. He's money on it every time, and the crowd was basically cheering Brock Lesnar and basically chanting Suplex City, and I really got a kick out of Paul Heyman with his singing, and it was just money when it came to that. And then all of a sudden, second time the lights go out, and the Undertaker shows up, and he kicks him in the groin, and the crowd was just all over him. And I can understand crucifying him, but look, the Undertaker, is a legend and commands. is a legend, and he's done so many things. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how you win; it's if you win. And I mean, this is a guy who once had the greatest streak in sports entertainment history, and just because of that one move, you're gonna boo the guy? I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's pointless. It's unnecessary. It's unacceptable. It's totally inexcusable. I mean, I can understand this is Brock Lesnar's homecoming. I understand that, but the man's a legend. I mean, he deserves at least a little bit of cheering, but really nothing more to say except Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker at SummerSlam is going to leave you in a. Remember when last year at SummerSlam, right before then, Brock Lesnar said that he was going to leave John Cena in a pile of blood, urine, and vomit? Well, I'm going to say this. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, is going to leave you in a pile of blood, urine, and vomit, and he is going to take you to Tombstone City, bitch. Period. End of story. End of quotation. Done. Finished. Drops the mic and walks out of here.
All I can say is you better hope that The Undertaker delivers on Sunday night, because Mike Bullock, I'm warning you right now, if he fails and Lesnar wins, then may God have mercy on your soul, because this Cerebral Viper will be striking harder and more devastating than ever before. Believe that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He's still my beating heart. Oh my goodness. Gentlemen, you just gave me an adrenaline rush. Oh my goodness. Wow. Now, there go the ratings. That's all there is to say. There go the ratings. Wow. That was unbelievable. All right, calm down. Calm down. Okay, now. Okay. What was I going to say? I had a train of thought before I wanted to move on to the overall review. I wanted to share this excerpt from Derek Ferrera's sports blog. He already did his sports blog. It's already up and running. This is what he says on here. There was something I wanted to get into. Oh yeah, he said that Undertaker low blowing Lesnar was interesting. I wanted to see another crazy brawl between these two. I think we all agree with that. I guess they went with the low blow route because Taker attacked first without Lesnar conquering him. It's weird that Undertaker got moved. Since I'm being in Brooklyn for SummerSlam, I'm interested to see what the crowd reaction is going to be. My guess is that Lesnar will get the massive pop, and when it comes to The Undertaker, we may get a mixed reaction. So, gentlemen, read into Derek Ferrera's sports blog what you will about that. So,
or take it with a grain of salt.
Yes, take it with a grain of salt indeed. So, all right. Overall review for this edition of Monday Night Raw. I know for a fact I'll be starting this off, and rightly so. I got the perfect rating here. Gonna go a little bit down here, but I still think this was a passable show. I still think it did what it needed to do because of the body of work. I'm gonna give this between 7 and 7.5 out of 10 tonight. It definitely reached the passing mark that Mr. Bullock, dropped last week. I think it did more than enough to garner the 7 to 7.5 out of 10 tonight. Segment of the night, of course, Lesnar, Taker, and Heyman. That's all there is to say about that. The contract signing was another highlight. The opening segment with the Authority, hey, they kept it short and sweet, laid the groundwork. Good enough for me. As far as the wrestling portion of the show, fight of the night, Luke Harper and Roman Reigns, 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Second best fight of the night, the tag team match, Randy Orton and Cesaro against Kevin Owens and Sheamus. Solid 3-star effort there. And then rounding out the top three as far as fights of the night go, it was that second Divas match, the champion match with Sasha Banks and Nikki Bella. 2.5 to 3 stars is the rating for that fight. Then you had, a solid, and then you had another solid Diva fight, Becky Lynch and Tamina, 1.5 to 2. It's the best I can give for that effort. And then, an okay 1-star match with Henry and Rusev. But then other than that, you had a lot of other short. You had too many short matches on this, and you had a couple of. And then as far as the lowlights go, of course, the 8-man tag, that was the disappointment of the night for me. Ryback and Miz, worst fight of the night. That was an absolute dud. That was a squash match, third enhancement fight, and of course the match with and then there was that other match that I'm not going to get into, but nonetheless, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. I still think it did a good enough job. A nice final sell for SummerSlam. Of course, we have SmackDown Thursday night. Spoilers come out around this time tomorrow. And of course, as you all know, 8-man tag match: Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Cesaro against Sheamus, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper. Batten down the hatches, gentlemen. And as the great Gorilla Monsoon used to say, what an 8-man that's going to be. So for my taste, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. A little on the lower side of things, but still, I thought it was a more than passable go-home edition of Raw before SummerSlam. So, wham bam, SummerSlam, fellas. That's all there is to say on that. 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Michael Bullock, do you agree, or are you going to go lower, higher, what?
I'm gonna make it an even 7 out of 10. I do agree with you on everything. I mean the fights of the night, of course, with the Harper and Reigns, and of course the tag team match with Orton and Cesaro against Owens and Sheamus, and of course the opening segment with the Authority, and then of course the segment of the night with the Lesnar homecoming, and then of course the second best segment of the night being the contract signing between Cena and Rollins, and you basically described the lowlights. So, man, oh man, I certainly cannot wait. I mean, SummerSlam week has officially arrived, and we got a lot going on. Of course, we got our big show Friday night with the preview of the NXT Takeover Brooklyn and SummerSlam, and then you got the event Saturday night with NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and then it all culminates with the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam, and there was some news out of that too. I mean, ESPN is actually going to be broadcasting. Well, they're actually going to be reporting live from SummerSlam on Sunday morning, and who's going to cover it? None other than a man that used to work for the WWE, Jonathan Coachman. So this SummerSlam is really getting the coverage here. So, yep, SummerSlam's here. Now officially we're 5 nights away. So I'm so excited, boys. So 7 out of 10 is my rating. Fletcher, your thoughts?
I gotta say, guys, 7 out of 10, no doubt about it. It definitely lived up to the hype for the most part. A lot of people were very apprehensive going into it. Nobody really knew what to expect. But I will say this, gentlemen, it is on. There's no more turning back. Yeah, there's a SmackDown coming up on Thursday, I should say. I'm sorry. I'm always still thinking that it was on Friday. No, it's Thursday. But I will say this. If you're ready for SummerSlam 2015, batten down the hatches. For the last few months, we've been talking about this event. And, it all started the night after when Lesnar and Taker kind of started the throwdown. The epic brawl of all brawls that had us all jacked up. then a couple of here and there spots. But now we're not gonna be playing with kid gloves anymore. And as you can tell, we're playing for keeps. It's on. It's serious. It's war. Brooklyn, you know what? You're known as one of the great five boroughs of New York, and I'll be saying this. My family on my dad's side was honored to call you home for a number of years. Now the hottest night of the summer is going back to one of the hottest cities in the United States, New York City. It feels like a backyard for myself because, like I said, I had family in New York. And as a matter of fact, I still do have family in New York. This is on second home for me, boys. And Brooklyn, Barclay, I hope that foundation that's laid on Atlantic Avenue, I hope you're ready. Because of the fact when you got 10 fights, well actually, 11 now added to this card, you are in for the biggest, the best, and brightest event other than WrestleMania. Who knows what this show's gonna bring? Who knows what surprises the 10 fight card's gonna bring to the table? One thing is for sure. Is it gonna be the biggest event of the year? It's possible. But let me tell you, it better be better than that god-awful Triple Mania event, or else I am going to spew. One side note. Normally, the biggest events of the year are always the ones that deliver more than anything else. When New Japan Pro Wrestling brought Wrestle Kingdom 9 to the world, it was a 9, 9.5. Some even gave it a perfect 10. When WrestleMania 31 dropped, it got a 9 out of 10 from us on the Wrestling Forum. SummerSlam, you go on 4 hours. You're trying to be at the same level like WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, I think they're trying to set the bar even higher than WrestleMania. Because remember, this was the one that they're hyping as the fight that WrestleMania couldn't stop. This was the fight that was gonna be bigger, better, more epic than WrestleMania. The card is loaded with amazing fights from beginning to end. Maybe one fight I'm not too excited about, but there's quite a few of them that will have me on the edge of my seat. You got the NXT takeover at Barclays the night before, and then the big show the next night. WWE is all in on New York. We will be very, very critical about this one, guys. And one thing is for sure. This is going to be the greatest week of professional wrestling coming up. Saturday, Brooklyn, NXT. Sunday night, SummerSlam, Brooklyn. Monday Night Raw, Barclays, Brooklyn. Tuesday, Dunkin' Donut Center, Providence, Rhode Island.
Big announcement, I'm going to be there.
There's nothing more to say. This is it. doesn't get any bigger than this. 7 out of 10 for the night's Monday Night Raw. Nothing more. Florio, it's yours.
Oh, what a night. What a night indeed. Michael Fletcher doing what he does best, folks. The hype man routine. He did it. He brought it. That's all there is to say. I mean, if that doesn't jack you up for SummerSlam, then what the hell is going to? That's all I'm going to say right there. If you're not jacked after the hype man does what he does best, oh, unreal. Yeah. That's going to put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. We thank you all so very much for tuning in to this very exciting show, to say the very least, a ratings getter indeed, to say the very least. So, you know the routine. It's shout-out time, and thankfully the luck of the draw falls exactly where I wanted to on this one. So, Michael Bullock, you know the routine. You started off, and then it goes to Fletch, and then I'll take it from, then I'll wrap it up, and I'll promote some very exciting future content here on the Strictly Sports Family of Networks. So, Mr. Bullock, your shout-outs first off.
All right, of course, we want to thank you all so very much for joining us here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum, a very crazy Wrestling Forum to say the very least. So yeah, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. And of course, shout outs to our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh. And of course, shout outs to all of our friends from our high school days, starting with Al Britterson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, to the Hardcore Python, Derek Ferreira, who continues his leave of absence with the sports blog, but he will be back Friday for our big NXT TakeOver Brooklyn / SummerSlam preview show. He'll be on location in Brooklyn, and all I can say is, Derek, have a safe trip out there to Brooklyn, and I wish you nothing but the best, man. So can't wait to have you back Friday night. So yeah, so that's pretty much gonna do it for me. So until Friday night for our big special Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum, where we will preview the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam. This is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it at Portrait 4 style. Bye for now, and enjoy the rest of your week, my friends. And of course, most importantly, God bless and be good to each other. For now, Mike Bullock, so long. Fletcher, it's yours.
Unbelievable night. Nothing more to say. Thank you to all the great fans of the Wrestling Forum. As always, we hope you guys were entertained. We definitely were. We had a lot of fun doing this tonight. To all the to all the super fans out there, you guys know who you guys are. We love you. You guys are awesome. To my friends in the junior high and high school days, much love to you guys as well. To the 2184 crew, love you guys. And that's basically it. So until Friday night, Mike Fletcher, you know the routine, other hand pounds, I'm out. Good night. Anthony, it's yours.
And I just want to, before I do my thing, I just want to make sure you guys are both in for Friday night, correct?
I'm in.
Yep.
Bullock?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to be sure on that. So, all right. So, for all intents and purposes, my friends, it looks like for this show, it's only fitting we have the whole band back together, especially if we're going to have the leader of the band back in the house as well. So, get more of that in just a moment. But before I do that, I just want to, take this moment and thank all of you fans out there, all of you fans out there, so very much for tuning into this very wild and crazy edition of the Wrestling Forum. I told you it was going to be a damn good show, didn't I? So there you have it. So you are the best fans in the world. You already know my shout out. You already know that shout out. Of course, you are the best fans out there, and I want to give you all you tremendous fans out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports as ridiculously over as they are. It is very much appreciated beyond words. Our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, along with Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, and Tommy Souza, and of course, one of our special friends from our high school days. He celebrated a birthday just yesterday. A very special happy birthday to our good friend Eric Carrier. He celebrated his birthday yesterday, so we want to wish him a very special happy birthday from all of us here at the Wrestling Forum at Strictly Sports. We hope you've had an amazing day, and we appreciate your service, and we definitely want to have you on the show someday. And hopefully, he'll also join into our into the Pigskin Pick'em, my Pigskin Pick'em League, and of course our Strictly Sports Fantasy Football League. We'll have more on that in the days to come. The fantasy football draft, by the way, Saturday night, August 29th at 10 o'clock. So just want to throw that out there, guys. Just want to make sure you knew that. So, and then, of course, not just Tommy Souza and Eric Carey, but our other crew members, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, Rob Parsons, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, and excuse me. I will save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night, including a special shout-out to one of our local personalities, one of our local news personalities here in Rhode Island. We'll save that for the sports show on Friday. Well, actually, no. You know what? I'm just going to let it out now since we're going to have another wrestling show. Also celebrating a birthday today, in addition to Eric Carrier, one of our favorite sports personalities out there from WPRI 12, the one and only Mr. Patrick Little. It was also his birthday today, so two very special birthdays to two of our favorite guys out there, Eric Carrier and Patrick Little. So we hope both of you guys had a great day and keep up what you guys do, doing some great things. We definitely hope to have you on the show someday. So yeah, so now that's definitely going to do it. Of course, future content. Of course, it's coming. Friday night, 10:30. Mark it down on your calendars. This Friday night. It will not be Strictly Sports. It will be a special Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum, where we are going to preview both NXT TakeOver and the biggest party of the summer, the 28th annual edition of SummerSlam. You think that's big? Oh no, it gets bigger. Because also, my friends, this Friday night, much to the delight of myself, much to the delight of Michael Fletcher, and much to the delight of Michael Bullock, and I know much to the delight of all of our fans and friends out there, also this Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, will mark the return of the one and the only, our Imperial Grand Poobah himself, the hardcore pipe bomb, Derek Ferrera. Yes. He returns.
Yes.
Oh, hell yes. We cannot tell you how much Derek Ferrera has been missed over these last 2 months since he started his leave of absence to focus more on his sports blog, and rightly so. I mean, that thing is taken off. That thing is taken off like hotcakes, man. And, a few weeks ago, he got one of those bad boys published by one of the national blog sites. I believe it was Bleacher Report, who picked up the blog about a month ago. So, yeah, we definitely wish him the continued success in that. And not only will Derek Ferrera be joining us, but he's going to be live on location from the site of NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, and Monday Night Raw, Brooklyn, New York. This is going to be an historic show, to say the very least. So come Friday night, my friends, you do not want to miss this epic, and very rare Friday night edition of the Wrestling Forum. We have not done that since the Friday before WrestleMania, back on March the 27th. That's how rare they are, folks. So mark it down. Friday night, August 21st, this Friday night, 10:30, on Derek Ferrera's channel, SLB 2008-09. Derek Ferrera returns. He'll be there. I'll be there. Michael Fletcher will be there. Michael Bullock will be there. The band will be back together for the first time in 2 months, and it could not come at a much better time. So, NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam preview edition of the Wrestling Forum Friday night. No Strictly Sports. And then, of course, Sunday night, our SummerSlam recap show. Michael Fletcher, you do your thing as always on that, my friend. You know that. Michael Fletcher will be taking the controls on Sunday night for our recap edition of SummerSlam. of the Wrestling Forum following SummerSlam itself. And then, of course, next Monday night for the Wrestling Forum. And then I want to make a note of this. Friday night, August 28th, the season finale of Strictly Sports, in which we are going to preview the upcoming college football season. Michael Fletcher, you will share your experiences from Fenway Park. If you didn't hear Michael Fletcher's big announcement the other night, Michael Fletcher and one of our very good friends and colleagues, Kaiser Butler, they went to Fenway Park the other day to see the Seattle Mariners take on the Boston Red Sox. Michael Fletcher will share his experiences with that. On top of that, Derek Ferreira will share his experiences from Brooklyn, from covering the NXT and the SummerSlam. And in addition to that, I would also like to, I'm going to lobby to Derek. I don't know if he's watching, but I hope he is. If he is, I want to lobby this. I'm going to make a big announcement right here and now. Michael Bullock already knows this. Michael Fletcher, you just heard it, but I'm going to make sure you all hear this. Next Tuesday, August 25th, SmackDown's coming to the Dunkin' Donuts Center, as many of you know. I'm pleased to announce I'm going to be there. I'm not kidding you. I'm going. I'm going to be there. You better believe it. And if it's okay with Derek, I'd like to share my experiences from that event. And trust me, I cannot wait to be there at the Dome next Tuesday night. Not just for SmackDown, but don't forget, they also take main event too. I'm definitely looking forward to a great night of action come next Tuesday night. Cannot get here fast enough. How's that for a big announcement? Huh? There you go. So with that said, that's going to put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. We thank you all so very much for tuning in. And until Friday night on Derek's channel, SLB 2008-09, for our huge NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam preview edition of the Wrestling Forum, it's ridiculously over Anthony Florio for the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and as always, in spirit, and back on Friday night, the Hardcore Python himself, Derek Ferreira, saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Roll it up, Fortune 4 style. Have a great rest of the week, my friends. And until Friday night for that big Wrestling Forum show on Derek's channel, you can watch it. But go home to SummerSlam, Monday Night Raw review edition of the Wrestling Forum, right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio,